Hello everyone. So this is day 25 and we are going to see like a couple of scenarios related to regex, regular expressions. So in the last session we have seen like what are the basics of regex and how we can use the regular expressions to like in terms of filtering and like what it does exactly, right? So I have created some of the sample expressions, or you can say like some of the samples exercises. What exactly it does, like what is regex, which we can understand like from here. So it helps you to extract, validate, and transform the text data efficiently. So in Alteryx, why regex we are using? So we are using for data cleansing, for pattern matching, for splitting complex column or like email, URL, or phone IDs. And what does it has, like for example, when you are bringing this particular component in the canvas, so what are the things you can, what are the validation you can do? So output method, you have replaced tokenize, parse, and match. So what is parse? Like exact extract the values into column. Match, whether it is the data is matching or not, or replacing if you want to clean or mask the data. And tokenizing means split the text into rows. So in those cases we are using the regex tool, right? So I was also telling you like how we can use the XML part. So I discussed in the last session, like I'm going to show you the XML parse as well. So you can open the example, and this is the best thing, like when we are working on any of the component and we don't know how exactly we can use. So we can go to under the help section. Also, you have like a sample workflows and some of the tutorials like blending the data, introduction to macro applications, and transforming the data. So there are other things are also there. Okay, and you can go to the community and sample data sets also. You can like bring it. Okay, so what exactly it does, like parsing the XML data into a structure format. So here you see there is a XML data which has like a row ID and it has a customer data, right? So if you see there is a customer ID, there is a membership level, there is a membership start date, transaction ID, what is the date, amount, transaction, and all these things. So if we are executing this particular workflow, so it will split the data into different columns like customer and then its ID, because here they wanted to just split the root data. But there are other options are there: auto detect child, return the child values, return the outer XML, or like ignore. So I'll show you like how does it looks that output if you split that particular data. So now you see earlier we were getting just the customer ID, but now we have the transaction, we have the ID, we have the date, we have the amount as well. So this is one example like which Alteryx has provided. Now coming to our example, like if you see here, I'm using one text input data, which you can find out under the input and output section, or like you can search also here, text input, right? So here also we can search. So what I'm doing, I'm just bringing, this is our root and these are the childs. So we have like order ID, then again the root is getting closed, then customer details, then name, then email, then customer currency, order date, and all the the parent root is also getting closed down at the end of this. So this is like just a one row of data. This is not 100 or like 1,000 rows of data. After executing, you will see that particular column is getting split. So what I did, I selected the uh, orders, and then if I just want root, I can keep it root, auto detect child. So it will auto detect what all the childs are there. So if you see here, order ID is there, then rest of the things are blank, right? If you want a specific child name, then you can mention the child name also. If you want to return the outer XML, you can return, but we don't need it. We just need the values, and if there is any error or anything is there, it will ignore and it will produce the output. Now this is just giving, if you see there is also one problem is there in this data. So if you see there is a parent column is there, but it is having null. So there is no use of, we can clean this data as much as possible, like removing this and then removing the parent also, and then cleaning the data and then bringing. Because if you see here, the order ID is on the second row, then the customer ID is in the fourth row, then the name of the customer is in fifth row. But eventually it is working, like it is splitting the data, amount, currency, order date, everything is coming. But at the end of the day, like you need a structured data to do the analysis, right? So this is just a component to use it, like how you can, but this is in a different format. Why? What is the difference? If we have seen the previous example in the XML parse right here. So if I open the example again, and if you see, this data is one row, but in our scenario this data is into different rows. That's why it is coming in like this after the output. So if we are putting everything into one row, like all these things into one row, then it will give us one row data, right? So we have to clean that data much. So this is how the data we receive when we are working in a project. So this is, you will have a row ID. Here we don't have a row ID. Here we have just one data, which is like having into multiple rows. That's why when we are uh, running the workflow, then we are getting multiple rows and multiple columns. So multiple rows is a problem, multiple column is not a problem. Now here what we are doing, so if we are changing the configuration, like return the child values and auto detect child, or let's keep the root. So let's run it. And when you see here, so after running this looks a clean data, right? So I can use this data for my analysis also, right? And if you see, like here, returning the attributes of the root element, then returning the child values, like how it will return the child values of this one, then returning the outer XML. So if you want to, like, usually we don't need outer XML when the data is in XML format. So we basically return the child values. That is the objective. Return the outer XML if we want, somebody wants to have like XML and this specific child element also, then we can select the child element and then give the name of that child element and just select the return outer XML. So these are 3-4 attributes or like configuration we can say, which we can use under the XML parse tool. Now there is another example like exercise I am giving, like match all the 3 rows into one expression. So I have a input data, which is again I am using this component text input to manually input the data. So this is my desired result. It should match all the rows and the text should be this. And here what I am doing, I am passing a regular expression. So column I have selected the text, and the output method is we are trying to match whether if it is matching, then it should return a true. So if I'm running the workflow, then you see like the output is matching, right? Then there will be might be another requirement like write a pattern. What is this tool? Like this is a container which you can find it under documentation tool container. Okay, comment and explorer box. So that is what I am using. You can disable the container as well if you don't want this container to be executed after some specific container. When we are working in a project, we use these containers more. So I'm just showing you like how, what is this exactly. And here under this container, we have a text input and the regex expression tool. Then now here matching all the 3 rows. So here we have passed the regular expression and then star. Here I'm doing the same thing, just instead of number. So here if you see, our data is like text and numeric, right? So my desired result is I want to see this data, everything as a true, right? I want to see how many 1, 2, 3 is there in all the rows or in this respective column. So I want to match, like in this column, how many of them are digits. Like we might get a data which is not clean. You have a text, you have a numeric, you have a expressions, everything. So in that case, how we can find out like whether this column has a string, whether this column has a numeric value, non-numeric value. So in those cases, I'm going to just test this expression. So I'm just passing this expression, and after running this, you can see like we have a, so in all these 3 columns, we have a digits, right? So this is the output is showing us true. So if it is true, then now we can extract that output. Like we can use another expression and parse the output, right? Another exercise is write an expression which can match first three rows, not the last one. So this is just a case I am just giving. So here, this is the desired result again. So this is manually input, like you have to provide the input in the text input box. And this is our requirement. Like I want to see whether this three should match, but the last one should not match. So what is the common in these three things? Like in these three, if you see like category CAT dot 896 dot question symbol equal to plus dot. Here it is ABC1. So if I want to match a specific expression, like we want to see whether it is matching or not. So then here I am passing this dot plus and the bracket symbol just to start of the word or end of the word. So after end of, because I see the input file is having, so at the end also we have the dot symbol mostly. So now after running this, we can see the workflow output is true, true, true. So all these expressions are matching and we got the output. Now this is like different scenarios which we are using in the regular expression. Now on top of it, like if I want to uh, use another expression, like if you want to like text to column, you can also use it. So here you can, instead of text match or like text, if you want to text match it is there, then you can like split into the rows, or this is the output it is looking like, right? So if I go here, so if you see the text is matching. Now if I want to split, so this here we cannot use it, but in terms of digit, like here I see this is true. So now if I want to export this data, so I can use this one, or like directly text to column. Right? So here I can, what I can do, I can just bring the desired result of the text, right? And here I can remove the delimiter, and I can just skip the empty columns, and let me execute this workflow. So 1 second, it is giving us an error. So let's go to the in, and let me just make it start. Okay. So now execute this one. And now if you see, so all this text has been, if it is true, so it is giving the same value. Like at the end, it is giving the same value. So here, instead of this one, we can use the regular expression here, and it should be text, and you can parse it. So, and the regular expression should be 1, 2, 3. So star 1, 2, 3 star. So we just want the number, and you can just we can bring it like the digit. Okay, you can select if there is a case sensitive or in case sensitive, or you can just make it tokenized. So let me just, you can see like tokenize split the text into rows. So we are trying to tokenize the data. So let me just remove the expression. Okay, and select the directly what we want, the digits, right? So we can select digit. Okay, and here you should see there should not be an error. So now there is no error. Let me run this workflow and let's see the output. So if you see that digits has got splitted into 3 columns, but now let me keep it 1 column. So now let's run it in a single column. Okay. So if we just want star 1, 3 and star and the backslash, right? So let's see, this is giving an error because it is, we are doing the same attempt here. So that is one reason could be. So let's say non-word character. Let me just select this one instead of everything. Let me. So these are the expressions we can use, like what exactly we want to split or tokenize the data. So these are like multiple options which you can select, like there is a null. So if you see the number of columns, there is nothing, right? If I just want a digit, okay, I don't want everything. So let's remove the case sensitive also. So if you will run this, you'll see the text it is coming one, right? So we are just tokenizing the data. If I want to replace, then you have to give the replacement text, so which we have seen in our previous example. If we want to just do the parse, so nothing to parse, enter a complete expression. So let's go here and digits. You can copy this entire thing and we can put this. Let's click outside. Still there is an error. So let me dot and let's select the digit only. Just just in case if we want. So still if you see there is an error because it is giving here it is showing nothing to parse, enter a complete expression. So you can enter like a complete expression. Here what we are doing, we are matching. So that's why it is working. But here if I want to, like for example, so word character, let's say, let's remove other things and let me click outside. Still there is an error. So it is not able to find out the right character, like for example, or you can select the entire word also if you want to tokenize that data or parse that. So let me remove everything and let me click outside. And here, let's run the workflow. So let's see what exactly it does. So if you see a regular expression, you can click here like learn more. You can click what exactly it is doing. So here you can see there is a regular expression you have to give. So it will give you the resolution as well, like what exactly we should be passing, if it is a non-digit or digit character. So in terms of word character. So if you go here, you want to like white space character or digit or lowercase or uppercase. Let's just select word character. Let's see how this works. So again, it is giving us the error if you just select unmarked groups or something. So we can, but yes, I mean, you can tokenize the data into multiple columns. So you can just run the workflow and you can check the output, like how it will work. So if you see, it is tokenizing the text. So it is bringing the first text right into one column. So that is like these are different scenarios which we can use. One is XML parse, one is like matching the regular expressions. Okay, another is again like this is also matching. If it is matching, then if you want to like parse, so parse is like extracting values into columns. So if there is a value which you want to, like for example, let's say I'm just giving a parse here 1 2 3 and so let me delete it. Let me just put it under double quotation. So this could be a string. So that is one would be a region, or like in a single quotation also you can pass these expressions, and star. So we can try these options like parsing or tokenizing the data, like what exactly it will return. So these are like different options are there, which I would suggest you to go and like word character or any letter or entire word if I want. So to tokenize into one single column. So I can just select it and I can execute it. So it will tokenize the everything. And if you see here, it is getting split, right? So everything ABC 1, 2, 3 define variable. So this is the example of like if you want into multiple columns. So you can like make it, and if you see here, this 1, 2, 3 it is coming in text 2, text 3. So now you can split that column. So you can tokenize that column, right? So what we have used the regular expression was like any character or word character or non-word character, right? So that we can use, and if there is a case sensitive or insensitive, that also we can select it. And if there is any extra, like if you want to again split by rows or columns, that you can select. And you can check the metadata also, how does it look like. So these are like different scenarios of regex and expressions, and how we can like use the XML parse tool. Okay. So thank you very much for watching this, and please like, subscribe, and comment, and share your feedback as well. And if there is any specific topic you would like to discuss or any scenarios, I'm happy to help you. Thank you.